The operator thought it was just another prank call until she heard the screaming. A woman begging for help. Not because someone was breaking in, but because something inside her home refused to leave. She didn't know it yet, but her family was about to be dragged into one of the most violent and terrifying hauntings ever recorded in American history. Welcome to the Hinsdale House. In 1973, the Dandy family moved into a quiet farmhouse nestled in the hills of Hinsdale, New York. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a retreat into nature, far from the chaos of the world. But almost immediately, strange things began to happen. Voices echoing through the halls. Phone calls with no one on the other end. Apparitions appearing in mirrors and windows. At first, the family brushed it off. Maybe it was just the stress of moving. Maybe the house was just settling. But the house had other plans. Soon, whatever was inside made it clear they were not welcome. The first few nights were quiet, but then the house woke up. The children began to whisper about people standing at their windows at night. Chairs moved on their own. Footsteps echoed across empty rooms. The Dandies heard chanting from the woods. When they looked outside, no one was there. And then the phone would ring. Always at the same time. Always silence on the other end. But someone or something was watching. And it was getting closer. For weeks, the Dandy family tried to explain away what was happening. The strange noises, the flickering lights, the cold spots that followed them from room to room. But it was no longer just disturbances. Now they were being touched, watched. One night, their daughter woke up screaming. Her back was covered in 3 deep red scratches, and she hadn't even left the bed. And that's when the family broke. They reached out to the church, and what they got was Father Alphonsus, a Catholic priest trained in spiritual warfare. He came armed with holy water, relics, and a rosary in one hand. The family stood behind him in silence as he began the ritual. Candles flickered. The air turned still. He moved from room to room, blessing every doorway, every corner. But in the middle of the ceremony, the door to the upstairs slammed shut with such force it cracked the entire frame. Crosses on the wall began to turn. The priest continued anyway, his voice unwavering. He said the words over and over, in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, but nothing left the house. Whatever had made this place its home was not going anywhere. The exorcism was over, but the house wasn't finished yet. The family tried to move on. They told themselves it was over, that the worst had passed. But within days, the lights began flickering again. Cold air returned, blasting through the rooms like someone was breathing down their necks. Then the knocking started, always from inside the walls. And the phone, well, it started ringing again. Same time, same silence. And this time, the priest did not come back. The Dandy family lasted just a few more weeks before they finally left, fleeing in the night, taking nothing with them but what they could carry. The house was abandoned, but not empty. It never let go of what it took. The Dandys never returned to the house on McMahon Road, but the house remained. Decades passed, owners came and went, none stayed for long, and strange things kept happening. Voices, shadow figures, slamming doors, full-bodied apparitions. In the early 2000s, paranormal investigators began visiting the house regularly. EVPs, cold spots, lights turning on and off on their own. One investigator collapsed after feeling something pass through him. Another claimed she heard her name whispered in her own voice. In 2016, a paranormal researcher purchased the property. Since then, the house has been featured on multiple ghost hunting shows. Today, the Hinsdale House is still open to visitors brave enough to spend the night. Some say it's just a house with a history. Others believe something still lives there, waiting, watching, and not ready to leave. They say the Hinsdale House is just a building. Old, creaky, abandoned. But to those who've walked through its rooms, who've heard the whispers, felt the cold, and seen the unexplainable, it's something else entirely. Investigators still visit. Some return with stories. Others leave in silence. And some say the house decides who stays. Maybe it is just a house. Or maybe it's waiting for someone else. Would you stay the night? Thanks for watching Smith Farm Shenanigans, where mystery meets reality. Subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss our next bizarre case file.